Good evening to you from the studios of the Media Bureau of Sri Dalada Maligawa, up in the hill country and the city of Kandy, the hill capital of Sri Lanka. You're watching the glorious tusker Vasana from Kataragama carrying the sacred relic casket, gaily caparisoned in his brand new uniform, coming down the steps to the Sandagala, the moonstone. The sacred relic casket was taken from the inner shrine room by the chief priest in charge of the Thevava, Venerable Vendarue Upali Thero, and the Devadana Nilame. Brought down to the lower chambers with all the honor, traditions, and customs. Then to be placed on Vasana's back in the golden palanquin. The start of the third Kumbal Perahera of the Kandy Esala Perahera 2014. Traditionally, the whip crackers leading the way. They are rewarded by the spectators awaiting to see the Perahera. Some of these people have traveled miles and miles from faraway villages to see this glorious pageant. These religious ceremonies are conducted in anticipation of rain, and we've seen slight showers before the monsoon set in. Undistracted by timely showers, these little children await this glorious pageant to be in front of them. These whip crackers bring the message that the Perahera is no far away. They are rewarded by the people by throwing coins as a matter of gratitude. There you are, the collector of coins. The Kandy Esala Perahera is full of traditions and customs. They have been brought down from the king's days. These traditions have lived through the Portuguese, the British periods when Sri Lanka was under their rule. The Sri Dalada Maligawa, popularly known as the Temple of the Tooth, houses the left canine tooth of the Buddha. People throughout the universe come here to pay homage, and if you take account, millions of pilgrims come here every year. The temple, by tradition, conducts daily, weekly, monthly, and annual ceremonies in homage to the sacred tooth relic. And the Kandy Esala Perahera is the most grandest of them all. The Aurudu Mangalya, the Alutsahal Mangalya, and the Kartika Mangalya are the other three ceremonies which is adjacent to the Kandy Esala Perahera. Of the 15-day Kandy Esala Perahera ceremony, the Sri Dalada Maligawa joins in the last 10 days and conducts the Perahera in honor of the sacred tooth relic. These 5 dancers start their training at a very young age. The fire doesn't seem to bother him at all. Very skillful. Most fire dances in Sri Lanka are dedicated to goddess Patini. Fire dances are performed in all parts of the country in reverence to Goddess Patini, the Devil Devio, and the Ginijal Kumar Devio. Fire sticks and circles form a beautiful pattern in the dark night. These dances will increase in their numbers when the Randoli Perahera starts on the 6th August. They will add into this troupe stilt walkers and acrobats. The Kumbal Perahera is a simplified version of this glorious Kandy Esala Perahera. There is no doubt you will be witnessing the most spectacular religious ceremony in the world in the last 2 nights, the 9th and the 10th. Make sure that you are tuned in. These flag bearers are detainees of the Pallekali prison's camp. They join the ceremony every year to perform this noble duty. Accompanied by the prison's officers, they walk solemnly in this religious ceremony. Looking at some of those faces, I find it difficult to believe that they would have committed any crime in society. The performance in these ceremonies will lessen their terms of imprisonment. Then the replicas of the royal army. When the kings paraded their countrysides, the royal army always escorted them. Burning coconut torch, the pandam. The burning copra, dried coconut kernels send out an aroma that you never believed. The first official of the Sri Dalada Maligawa, the Peramuni Rala, carrying the Ola leaves pertaining to the lands belonging to the Maligawa and the Rajakaryas performed by their inmates. Riding on Indiraja, the chief elephant of the Sri Dalada Maligawa. Indiraja was donated somewhere in 1980s by the late Prime Minister of India, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. Typical Kandyan heavy drums. The Gaman heavy here at its best. Led by the major four Panikala Guru dances of the Sri Dalada Maligawa. Coming down from four families, they perform their duties from generation to generation. Some polythene used to save their drum from the raindrops. These drummers will wear decorated ornaments on their heads, necks, and even their drums when the Randoli Perahera starts on the 6th. That is real Kandyan rhythm. The second official of the Sri Dalada Maligawa, the Gajanayaka Nilame, the chief of the elephant stables. Nevertheless, simply dressed for the Kumbal Perahera in his white costume, which he will change to the glorious Kandyan costume during the Randoli. He will also change his silver ankus to a gold one. A school teacher by profession, Mr. Jayawardhana, rides on Nadungamui Raja. Nadungamui Raja, owned by a famous native doctor, Dr. Harsha Dharma Vijaya from Gampaha. The formation of this dance troupe is from a collective lot of students from leading schools in Kandy. They perform the Bulat Pada extracted from the Kumbal Kankarya. The Kumbal Kankarya is the most ancient Shanti Karma of Sri Lanka. The Kumbal Kankarya, also known as the Hatapas Mangalya, was conducted to cure the second king of Sri Lanka according to the chronicle Mahavamsa. He was cursed and being frightened by a leopard every night. passing through nightmares continuously. It was the Kumbal Kankarya or the Hatapasmangalya that cured him from this awful sickness. The betel leaf is considered a very auspicious item in Sri Lanka. Native people use this to invite their relatives to their weddings or any welfare function that is held in their homes. In the Kumbal Kankarya, the Bulat Pada is performed to offer betel to the deities. The Buddhist flag being carried on the back of Kandula from the Kalani Rajamahaviharya. Semara, Savaran or Chamara, the instruments that they use in this folk dance, was used to fan their kings by the king's maids. All royal instruments being used in honor of the sacred tooth relic. All these forms of dances are performed in honor of the sacred relic casket, carried on the gaily caparisoned royal tusker. Vijayaraja, the Maligawa tusker, donated to the Maligawa in the 1970s by the government of Thailand. the Kotalapada, also another troupe of dancers from the dancing school of the Sri Dalada Maligawa. These dancers were added into this Perahera after the election of the present incumbent, the 19th Devadana Nilame, Dr. Pradeep Nilangadala, since his office in 2005. He has so far served 10 years and this is his ceremonial 10th Perahera. He has made definite changes to the glamour of this Perahera. Addition of dances like this. The Kotalapada, another extract from the ancient ritual Kumbal Kankarya. The kotale is the pot that they hold in their hand. It's filled with saffron water. Saffron water is commonly used as a disinfectant and a purification liquid. On the advice of the Devadana Nilame, all these costumes have been specially designed to be used during the Kumbal Perahera. He has used ancient styles from old pictures in designing these elephant costumes. This is the Polmal Palya. Coconut flowers are considered a symbol of prosperity and a symbol of luck. Coconut being one of the three main commodities exported from Sri Lanka. Sinhalese Buddhist people of Sri Lanka use coconut flowers for all ceremonies conducted in their homes. The Polmal Palya is also an extract from the Kumbal Kankarya. Sankar coming all the way from Sankapala temple in Sabarkamua, close to the Udavalavi National Park. These junior dancers will one day be the masters of this ceremony. The Panteru is a golden ornament of goddess Pathini. This Panteru dance is a typical traditional Kandian dance form. That is Mutubanda, the elephant, coming all the way from Badulla. Belongs to the chief priest of the Mutiyangana Raja Mahavihare, Dr. Muruddini Tamaratanateru. This little symbol in their hands is called the talampota, the basic instrument in Kandian dancing, or may it be the other two forms of dancing being Sabaragamu and the Runa. The symbol is used to keep the rhythm of the dance and the beat of the Kandian drums. Madhu, again all the way from Badulla, the Mutiyangana Raja Mahavihare. The scent and the aroma sent out of these burning coconut kernels, the beat of the drums, the heavy sea, the Kandian gatavera, and the cymbals and the dancing creates an unbelievable atmosphere in the city of Kandy today. These young performers will one day become the best dancers in this position, learning the art from their young age. Two very young tuskers, Abe Raja and Mihin Raja, coming to Kandy to perform in this ceremony from the presidential stables. One day, these young tuskers will perform the noble duty of carrying the sacred relic casket. The Likeli, a very popular dance in the southern part of India. I have seen the Likeli being performed even by women in honor of their deities in the kovils of southern India. From where it ever may come, the Kandian dance form of Likeli. Rani is a very popular elephant among the tourists who come to Sri Lanka. Owned by the chief Kapu Mahatya of the Kandy Vihare in Belambode, she lives at the Millennium Elephant Foundation in Kegol. She is adored by many tourists who come to Sri Lanka. Chandana and Himbanda, Rani's proud mahouts. This majestic elephant has come all the way from Kaduela in Colombo, the elephant of the Ran Kadude Valley. people from all ages watching this glorious pageant. Skillful Raban dancing. The Rabana is a one-sided drum. This young elephant coming all the way from Colombo, from the home of his master Kamal Irugal Bandari. The burning coconut kernels. Attraction to this Perahera. It is encouraging to see these young performers. They will one day become the masters of this glorious ceremony, so that these traditions be carried down from generation to generation and go on for centuries in the future. We have seen hundreds of young dancers, also seen baby elephants who will take these traditions to the future. Who is a lecturer in the University of Colombo, the Faculty of Aesthetic Studies. The Tammetam Hevisi from Maligawa. They are also the officiating drummers to the Riddhi Vihare, which is the head temple of the most Reverend Tipatuave Sri Siddhartha Sumangala Thero, the Mahanayaka of the Malathi chapter of the Shyamopali Mahanikaya. Sujit and his brother leading the way in the absence of their father, who was the master of them all. Unfortunately, he passed away last year. The master of them all, Gridiyagama Asuranada Gurunanse, was a skillful performer himself. Whatever their age is, they take pride in performing in this glorious ceremony. Rains having ceased with the auspicious time, and the ceremonial tusker walking through the Vahalpada of the Sri Dalada Maligawa. Tonight it is a glorious ceremony in the hill capital of Sri Lanka. A victorious army, soldiers dancing in anticipation of winning a war. These soldiers are a symbol of soldiers who went to war almost a decade ago. Sri Lanka, rescued from a 3-decade-old war by the Army, Navy, the Air Force and the Police Department of Sri Lanka. Rani, the dancing elephant in many Pereiras, seems to be very quiet today. Probably tired from a journey from Pallebedda. She is owned by Mr. Chanaka Jayasekara, a descendant from an ancient elephant owning family. His grandfather, Mr. Arti Jayasekara, known as famous Arti Hamu Mahatya, was a great elephant owner and a man skilled with the techniques of training elephants. He was succeeded by his son, a brilliant sportsman from St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia, B.B. Jayasekara. now Chanaka is quietly taking over. The Thalam, the Likeli and the Savarang, a mixed folk dance of the Kandyan style. Two young tuskers, Raju and Sindhu, belonging to the two most reverend Mahanayaka Theros of the Askiriya and Malvatta chapters. Sindhu unfortunately lost one of his tusks at a very young age. The dancing teacher Priyanta's troupe of folk dancers all the way from the eastern province of Sri Lanka. They have come all the way from Ampara to perform in this great pageant. After the harvesting of paddy in Sri Lanka, this dance is performed in reverence to the gods. A thanksgiving indeed. The gods are believed to give timely rain and protect their crops from wild animals and of natural disasters. Ekadanta from the Maligawa's stables. The udaki is an ancient drum used by the folk of the villages in the Kandian Central. The double-sided drum provides the rhythm to their dance and keeps the timing of the singing of phrases to their lords. This is Mian Raja, the tusker from Myanmar, one of the tuskers from Myanmar, which were added to the Dalada Maligawa stables during the office of the present Thiyavadana Nilame, Pradeep Nilangadala. Mian Raja and Buruma Raja were donated by the Myanmar government to the Sri Dalada Maligawa to perform in this Perahera. The first group of dancers led by Lasantha Wanigasekara will escort the ceremonial tusker carrying the sacred relic casket. Over 100 of them dancers and catabera. The typical rhythm of Kandian drums. The grandest spectacle of this procession, the great spectacle, all the Rajakaryas together, the sacred relic casket on the back of Vasana, the great tusker of the Mahakatargam Devali in Runa. Most of the elephants in this procession will be illuminated by electric bulbs like what you see now during the 5 days of the Randoli Perahera. The majestic walk of Vasana, escorted by Mian Raja and Singh Raja of the Sri Dalada Maligawa stables. The Karya Karavana Korala, the chief of the Rajakarya, Mr. Chaminda Karunathilaka. all the pujas and the rajakaryas together. The Nagasinnam, the Kavikara Maduva, in reverence of the relic casket. The golden casket with all the gold and silver trappings. The jasmine garlands. Believed to be protected by the Sataravaram Devyo. The Kavikara Maduva, an ancient tradition which is coming down from the kingdom of Kandy. This is a generation from one family which has carried down this tradition right throughout up to today. People get up from their seats and say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu when the ceremonial tasker approaches them. The second troupe of West dancers of Dalada Maligawa, led by Mr. Peter Surasena and Sanjeeva, will escort the officiating Nilame of the Perahera today. The Diyavada Nilame has called upon Mr. Mohan Panabukke, the Basnayaka Nilame of the Mahavishnu Devale, to officiate on his behalf. Mr. Mohan Panabukke, a hotelier and a very successful one indeed, owns the famous Mahavali Reach Hotel in Kandy. Mr. Mohan Panabukke in his white costume. The Nilames will change their costumes to a more rich one during the Randoli Perahera. He is guarded by his guards and then the 10 Vidanes of the Sri Dalada Maligawa. Majestic sight indeed. Glorious West dancing. Mr. Mohan Panabukke, the officiating Nilame. The 10 Vidanes in charge of the 10 villages owned by the Dalada Maligawa. The Natadevyo is believed to be the next Buddha. This is the beginning of the Natadevya Perahera in reverence to the peaceful God. Believed to be the most kind-hearted and helpful God. Thousands of pilgrims come to pay homage to this temple every year. Guarding their drums for the next few days. This tusker coming to Kandy all the way from Maligawa down south. The color golden yellow is dedicated to the god Natha. So in this procession, most of the elephants will be dressed in his color. Young dancers and young elephants learning the art of performing in Perahera. many forms of the Savarang dance. As traditions call for, the Tevala West dancers do not wear their usual headgear during the Kumbal Perahera. With the start of the Randoli Perahera on the 6th, these dancers will wear the traditional Hisaves, the headgear of a typical West dancer. Many of these dance groups wear their costumes to show that this is only a simplified version of the glorious ceremony to come. The ceremonial elephants of the Natha Devale. The golden ornaments of God Natha. Beginning of the Vishnu Devale Perahera. The flags of the Satkorale, under the divine power of the most powerful god, the Vishnu, believed to be the reincarnation of Rama. Lord Vishnu is believed to be the protector of the Buddha Sasana in Sri Lanka. Kandy Esala Perahera begins with the end of a 21-day ceremony held in the headquarters of Lord Vishnu's temple in Alutnora. symbolic flag of the god Vishnu. Like the color golden yellow for god Natha, royal blue is dedicated to the god of power, Vishnu. Hence these elephants are illuminated with blue electric bulbs and they wear blue Senarath, the elephant from the Alutnora Devali. Enjoying every moment. Dharme and Manike from Malutnora. The female elephant owned by Mr. Damsiri Karunaratna. Dharme is a very skilled mahout in Sri Lanka. the West dancers less their headgear. The ceremonial elephant of the Vishnu Devalaya. Banda, the elephant, belongs to the Devadaname, Mr. Pradeep Nilangadana. A great sight indeed, well trained to perform in these Peraheras. His head held high and his trunk held in his mouth, walking solemnly and majestically along the streets of Kandy. God Katargama, famously known as Kandy in India. The powerful god is believed to be the Lord of War. And this sect of the Perahera will be in honor of the warrior god. Symbols of the god carried in flags. Apart from providing the light for this Perahera, these torch bearers also give these performers a little warmth in the cool nights in Kandy. god Katargama's color is red. The Mahakataragama Devale in deep down South Sri Lanka is the headquarters of the powerful god Skanda. Millions of Buddhists and Hindus go to the shrine to pay homage. A 15-day ceremony was held in July in reverence of this great god. This elephant belongs to the Member of Parliament, Honorable Sachin Bas Gunawardena. Seeing many of these young elephants performing in this ceremony, it gives us hope that the shortage of elephants for Peraheras will be controlled in the years to come. At the turn of the century, there was a fear that these customs and rituals would die a natural death due to the unavailability of tame elephants. In the 2 decades from 1992 to 2002, we had lost almost 150 elephants due to natural reasons. Old age, a personal count done by me on the tame elephants of Sri Lanka in 1992, I counted 342 elephants among 280 owners in Sri Lanka. By the turn of the century, the total population had come down to less than 150. And then there was no national plan to replenish the numbers of these tame elephants. The custodians, led by the Devada Nilame and the Basnayaka Nilames of the Devales, plus the high priest of temples that conduct annual Peraheras, were finding it an uncontrollable problem to find elephants for their Peraheras. It is of national interest that they protect these rituals and continue the performance of great pageants such as the Kandy Esala Perahera. Wale West dancers. The golden ornaments of the powerful deity carried on the ceremonial elephant. This elephant having come all the way from the Handala temple to perform this noble duty. With the Randoli, you will see the Kavadi dance, which is dedicated to this deity. The chief Swami of the Kataragama Devale in Kandy. The last of the procession, the Perahera of the Siddha Patini Devale. Goddess Patini is revered in Sri Lanka for her purity and a cure of children's diseases. People pray to her to protect their children from contagious and infectious diseases. Famous for her 7 forms, she is known as Sat Patini Devio in Sri Lanka. Rhythm of the Patini Devali ABC. Many young learners in this group as well. In the Kandy Esala Perahera, it is unusual to see female performers. But in the Patini Devale Perahera, a troupe or two of female dancers is permitted, as the goddess herself is a female. You will definitely see more female performers with the Randoli from the 6th. the beat of the Kandy and get a better. These traditional Kandyan dances will escort the ceremonial elephant of the Sri Patini Devali. The golden ornaments of the Sat Patini Deviyo. With the ceremonial elephants of the Satpatini Devali, we come to the end of the Perahera of the third Kumbal of the Kandy Esala Perahera 2014. Thank you for being tuned in with us, and please join us in the rest of the ceremony starting tomorrow and ending the 10th night with the grand final. I am Sunil Rambukota from the studios of the Sri Dalada Maligawa Media Bureau at the Temple of the Tooth. Thank you for joining with us. Good night.
Kìa 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 kìa, tiêu tiêu cày nè.